A very good evening to fellow members and dear guests. I, Sandeep Kumar, Sergeant at Arms of Professional Speakers, welcome you to 155th meeting at Professional Speakers where eloquence meets impact. We provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. We had a great month last month. Last month. Our two of members have achieved distinguished Toastmasters level, and yes, another one member has joined us. Let's see how this month goes. But I have less to share. Our presiding officer has more to share. This is Toastmaster Raj Mehta is a technology transfer officer at Foundation for Innovation and Technology Transfer, an industry interface unit at IIT Delhi. He is a trainer in soft skills and speaker at entrepreneurship, innovation, and incubation. He is a two-time distinguished Toastmaster, a progressive learner experimenter. He strongly believes that perseverance shall take you praise. He recently completed 10 years at Toastmasters. Please join me in welcoming Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Table Topic Master, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar. I, Raj Mehta, President of the Professional Speakers, welcome you all at the 155th meeting of Professional Speakers where eloquence meets impact. You might have heard many voices. Have you heard the voice of nature? Nature speaks many languages and many voices. For example, the voice or the sound of wind, of birds, of leaves, of water, and other forest sounds. What do you hear when you hear the sound or voice of nature? Bumblebee buzzing in the park, a mocking bird singing in the evening, or a bullfrog croaking in a nearby pond are just few examples of wonderful and varied sounds that nature offers. But have you or any of your friends ever heard the sound of a whale trumpet, a hyena laugh, or a Siberian cock? We see nature all around us, and it gives various types of speeches or sound. And this is known as geophony, or in other words, non-biological nature sounds that includes the effects of water by a stream or waves at the ocean, the effects of a wind in the trees or grasses, and sound generated by the earth itself. Have you ever heard the sound of earth around you? We all know it is moving. Have you ever heard the sound of the earth around you? If you really want to hear the sound of nature or its elements, just do one thing. Keep your fingers, take your hands backside with the help of your forefinger and thumb. Press your ear templates forward like this. You will hear the sound of nature, or I would say voice of nature, or I would say speech by the nature. Now it is up to you whether you understand that speech or not. Nature's sound can actually help us in sleeping better by reducing stress. That's why I just advise that let's all love nature, because nature gives us a lot of things in our life. Moving ahead with the meeting of the day, we now come with the first section of the meeting, which is the business section, in which the members of the club shall tell us about their short-term goals, the goals which is from one to 3 months, and how these will help in reaching out to their midterm goals and long-term goals. We review our progress in the short-term goals, and now I shall be inviting members one by one to and ask them to share their progress on the short-term goals during the last 1 week. Anisha Gupta.
Today is 1st of August, and as we enter a new month, and I know that I have been changing my short-term goals every month rather than having a 2-month or 3-month long timeline. But with my current goal, it is continuing from the previous month and also from the month of June. I'm talking about my short-term goal of reading a book 20 pages each 6 days a week. The output that I want to achieve from this is building speaking and writing content, which can be used in Toastmasters and other platforms. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Anisha Gupta. Toastmaster Sharma.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my short-term goal after achieving a blog writing that I have recently completed for a professional blog. Now I have set my goal to reading 1 article per day to improve my vocabulary as well as to improve my writing content. And also I am on the verge of writing second professional blog by this end of this month. And the third is to improve my evaluation skills. That is the target again I have set for this month, and to use zero crutch words in my 2 minutes.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sharma. Mukesh Thakur.
Good evening, professional speakers. My short-term goal as professional speaker is to record my own video for 100 continuous days, and I have been successfully doing it for the last 50 days. The time of recording the video and that too impromptu speaking were up to 50 days, and after the 50th day I started impromptu speaking by taking a quote impromptu from the internet and speaking on it 5 minutes, and in total I have completed 61 days, and I need an active member so that I can achieve my purpose on it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mukesh Thakur. Hello everyone, I am Raj Mehta. My short-term goals are 3. Number 1, to make 1 or 2 videos of 5 to 10 minutes. Last week I made 2 videos of about 7 to 8 minutes. And my second short-term goal is to write 5,000 words in a week. Yes, I was able to write more than 5,000 words in the last week because I am working on 3 stories and I could contribute some words to each of these stories. And third goal is to read 2 pages. I have been able to read more than 2 pages per week. In total, I think last week I read around more than 20 pages. And thus, if we divide it by 7, so these were more than 2 pages per day. Thank you very much. Rupinder Singh.
My short-term goals were to deliver 20 speeches on the leadership development part by September 30, 2021. So far, I have delivered 7 of them. I will update this slide. Thank you.
Thank you. Rupinder Singh, Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar.
Good evening again, fellow Toastmasters. I have changed my short-term goals for by 30th September 2021. One is to complete level 2 by 30th of September 21. I would like to share already completed level 1 last month and already deliver first speech of level 2. Second goal is to reduce the filler sound to 0 to have the effective communication. Third, to improve vocal variety through reading half an hour daily. Last week, I would be able to read only 3 days due to health issues. Over to you, Presiding Officer.
Thank you. With this, we come to the end of business section. And now it's time to introduce our Toastmaster of the day. Mukesh Thakur, DTM. He attempts to be a humorist, dancer, reader, writer, speaker. Yet at the core, he is the master procrastinator. A chartered accountant by qualification, an entrepreneur by choice, and a Toastmaster by passion. He always keeps exploring new horizons. Although he authored a book which was published by Taxman, he believes he has tomes to write before he sleeps. He loves adventures, chess, movies, music, and nature. Synergy and leverage being his favorite words, he gets his inspiration from the quote, start doing what is necessary, then what is possible, and suddenly you are doing the impossible. Let's all welcome Mukesh Thakur, DTM, with the theme of the meeting, Building Great Products. Building Great Products, Mukesh Thakur, DTM.
Good evening, everyone. How are you doing?
Great.
Great.
Okay, tell me one thing. How many of you are having an iPhone? Or how many of you wants to have an iPhone? Or how many of you have heard about iPhones? Everyone wants to have an iPhone. I have heard a kid in China who sold his kidney to just get the iPhone. Speaking about the iPhone, I was wondering why there are so much craze about one single product, and why they are not so much craze about the rest of the products. There might be hundreds of models available in the market. There are products that are available for which are value for money. Still, you put all the logics, all the value for money things at one side, and at other side you just put iPhone on the table, and the rest of the options are just neglected. This is not happening with some magic. No one has put some impression by force on the mind of entire population. Building one product makes a lot of effort. There might be decades of stories, decades of efforts going behind those efforts, and that's how you make one single product. This reminds me a small story about Henry Ford, and I'm not sure whether this story is minutely correct or not. Still, the substance remains the same. What happens during 1932, Henry Ford calls all of his engineers and said that he wants all of the 8 cylinders to cast in a single module, a single block. All of the engineers did some brainstorming, put their designs, and they said that it is simply impossible. Henry Ford said, I don't care it is possible or not. You have to produce it anyway. You don't have any other option. You just keep doing it until it is done. The engineers did not have any option other than to keep doing their work because they had to stay in the employment of Henry Ford. They went back and kept working because they did not have any other job than to working on this 8 cylindrical model. They kept working for months. Once they completed 6 months, nothing happened. Another 6 months went by and nothing happened. After 1 year was complete, Henry Ford thought to take a look what is the progress. He reached out to all the engineers and asked what is the progress. The engineers simply said that whatever you have asked us to produce is still impossible. Henry Ford did not take a minute to react immediately that I don't care it is possible or not. You will have to work on it until it is produced. And after some time, something happened, some miracle happened. And that vision, which was not possible by the masterminds of all the engineers, was possible. It was the vision of Henry Ford. He was not engineer. He started his business with a puncture shop by taking a loan of $5 from one of his friends. Still, whatever he thought could be achieved. Building great products needs many things than just having your skill set or right technology. It needs a vision. I'm not the right person to tell everything about it because we have today the entire meeting dedicated for building great products, and the secrets of building great products will be shared by our professional speaker, Charlie Sharma, which I will introduce later. Before going into that, I would like to tell you how we are going to do today. In today's meeting, there are 5 sections, starting with business segment that we have just witnessed a bit ago, where all the members share their personal stories, personal goals, and how they are going to reach their destination. In the second segment, we are going to listen to our professional speakers, Jolly Sharma, building great products. In the third segment, we are going to have one is prepared a speech, and it will be delivered by distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Then we'll go towards the table topic section where the fun lies. Today we are going to have a relayed table topic section where all of us are going to give another person a table topics, and it will be run like a relay marathon. Then we'll move to our general evaluation section where our general evaluator Anisha Gupta shall be leading the entire evaluation section with her team of evaluators, supplementary role players, our counter distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, timer distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, and grammarian Sandeep Kumar. At this moment, I would like to invite our grammarian Sandeep Kumar to introduce the word of the day.
Toastmaster, could you please confirm my screen is visible?
Yes, I confirm.
Today, word of the day is bignity. It's a noun. Its meaning is a good deed or favor or an instance of kindness. For example, Rupinder's bignity makes him too nice. Another example is, thanks to the bignity of an anonymous donor, the homeless family has a new house. I would expect the maximum use of the word of the day for the benefit of all. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you, grammarian Sandeep Kumar. All the members and guests, let's do some dignity today by keeping our video on and smile on our face. Before going to introduce our professional speakers, let's cheer for Jolly Sharma. Jolly Sharma is a product manager and a data evangelist by profession, a nature lover and foodie by heart. He is a travel enthusiast, loves knowing about different people and exploring destinations and cultures. She thinks Toastmaster is way of life for her because each and every interaction she makes with either it is personal and professional, she feels the impact of Toastmasters everywhere. With a huge round of applause, please welcome on the virtual stage Toastmaster Jolly Sharma, building great products, Toastmaster Jolly Sharma.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Thank you, Mukesh. And let me just share this. Please confirm if my screen is visible to all. Are you able to see the presentation? Are you still able to see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. So the topic for today is, are you able to see the presentation clearly or my other desktop items as well?
Yeah, Jolly, if you can click on present tab.
We are not seeing it in the presentation mode, we are seeing it in the slideshow.
Yes.
Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So building great products. As Mukesh had already called out, I think he snatched one of my examples, an iPhone. iPhone is a great example of a great product. So what makes it so special? Can I have the answers from all of you?
Design.
Marketing basically.
What is that?
Marketing.
Marketing.
I would not say it is the greatest product, but marketing makes it look like that.
Mm-hmm.
The same thing happened with Microsoft a few years ago. Microsoft Windows was not the best operating system, but marketing made it look like so.
And what marketing intends to do?
The innovation was that it produced pinch to zoom, but the fact is that a lot of the other phones also had the same functionality. It was just that it was first to the scene, and it built upon that. It marketed that, created a gap, and the rest is history.
So I think you are very close to the answer, Rupinder, and I agree with you. What the marketing people they do is they basically identify a problem, right? They zero in the user's problem and then try to sell around that, correct? And that makes the products close to the user needs. So what happens is for a great product, when we start building that, usually as a product manager, what we do is we want to basically create a good design. We want to create the best, use the best technology, and also identify the business needs, the pain areas, right? And a great product is something which basically addresses all these three, and it lies somewhere center in that of all these three. So product management is all about that, identifying all this, the intersection point, wherein we have the healthy mix of everything. So it includes not only the innovative design or the features, but also the strategy, the way it has to be developed, and the way it has to be marketed. So finally, I would agree that a great product has a solid value proposition and solves a real world problem. Let me take an example of tea. Supposedly you want to have a cup of tea. What is the way you are going to basically prepare the tea? First, you need to identify whether you want to have a milk tea, whether you want to have a green tea, or whether you want to have a red tea, and what is the need actually. Is it the tea time for you? Or is it that you have some kind of headache? That's the reason you want to have tea, or probably just you want to rejuvenate yourself. So user needs are very important to prepare a good tea. And then the second thing is the ingredients that you are going to use and the time that you are going to basically focus on while preparing the tea. Though most of you would agree that it is a simple thing. You just have to take a cup of water. You have to just put some tea leaves over there. But my dear friends, for you to get the best experience of tea, the duration of the time that is required in brewing the tea leaves and the water, that matters a lot. That will change the entire experience you will have while you will have the tea. It will create a different impact altogether. If you are adding too much of tea leaves, that will also change the experience. If you are boiling it for more than 5 minutes, then also you are going to have a different impact altogether. And if you are going to add too much of milk or sugar, that is also again going to have a different impact altogether. So you see that each and every ingredient plus the time also matters when you are adding the milk while preparing the tea, or the time that you are taking to boil the tea leaves with the tea. Similarly, while building products also, it is not only the features that is important. It is not only the design that matters. It is not only the features that, yes, I want the feature. For example, take an example of MS Word and the spelling and grammar check that we do usually in MS Word, and the Grammarly, which is their another product, right? Now, what is the difference between these two? If you take the example of MS Word, you have to always click on the spell and check feature to do the grammar check. But in Grammarly, it helps the users automatically, whether you are typing in any of an email or you are using any tool, you are typing the sentences, it prompts you with that grammar check. It is more intuitive. So it is more user friendly, and it also helps better. So these are the kind of features that again are important while we are developing the product. But then the experience also matters. As I said during the example of the tea brewing, that the amount of time that you are brewing the tea leaves, that will also have a profound impact on the taste of the tea as well as the aroma of the tea. Similarly, while building the product, it is not only the features that are important, but also some of the non-functional aspects, like the quality, the time that it is tested, the kind of testing that is done, whether it is only the performance testing or whether there is a security testing also done, or there may be some other non-functional aspects related to that. It may be something related to localization, or it may be related to something called as security, wherein even if the user uses his own credentials or anything, he is not getting trapped. All these aspects and experiences also matters. The time taken to view any page, that also matters, the response time. So it is important to come up with those list of non-functional things also and consider those aspects also while developing the product. It is not only the technology stack. We have to spend time thinking on each and every aspect. And as Rupinder said, we have to also consider the market needs as well. So as a product manager, it should be a fine mix of technology, user interface, as well as business needs. You have to consider it very carefully. Otherwise, you might end up, if any of these ingredients are getting too much, you may end up building a disastrous product. which might not solve the user problem. And you might be late also. So you have to be very active on your toes. Let me take an example of mine. I'll just help you understand with a recent example wherein we had just built a product for financial wellness. What happened was that this product was already existing and it was a web-based application. Now the customer wanted it to be a mobile app. So we had to totally come up with the new design, that is the interface, which was mobile interface. And then we also worked on the user needs. What are the primary needs of the users? Now coming to the primary needs, the earlier application did not provide any dynamic integration with any of the banks or anything. And probably when it comes to finance, then definitely a user would want to see all his financial history at one place. And that is only, it will help him to come up with an assessment whether his financial wealth or is good or not, and whether he is doing fine or not in terms of financial well-being. The intention or the vision of this app was to increase the financial well-being for a user so that at last he feels happy. And many of our emotions, we would agree, is tied to our financial needs. If we are feeling good, it is only when we see that our financial health is very good. If we are having too many expenses, then definitely we feel demotivated and down. So that was the segment of the user that we were targeting on and the market. So we came up with these features and then we had a very short release. We wanted to release this product within 3 months down the lane, which is now in July end. So we had to be very careful while deciding on the features and then also the non-functional aspects, because this required integration with some other third-party providers who would help us in giving or segregating all this information or insights related to the financial wellness of a person. So we also catered to the response times and the security aspects, because when it comes to financial integration, right, a bank integrations, definitely the users has to be very careful. They would not want to use the app if we are going to just leak out the financial information anywhere. So we considered all these. Finally, as a product manager, it was not the end of the day for me to just get the things developed, tested, and released. We also had to work upon the user acceptance testing. And then that was also not enough. At times, I also had to work with the marketing personals to help them with the demos, also to identify and address the pain areas of the customer. All this helps us to come up with a great product. And finally, the product is now launched in the Android as well as the Google Play Stores, as well as the iOS Play Stores. So we all see that these are some of the learnings that I have gathered while building a great product. Usually in technology, when we work in the projects, at times we get so carried away with the tech stack or with the project goals that we just have to finish this project. So that is not something that helps us to come up with great products and a product which will actually satisfy the customer. You have to be very careful and you have to work with the product mindset and not the project mindset. Secondly, as a product manager, I have often seen that we tend to love the solutions. That, wow, this is a great feature. This is a great solution I should have in my product. But no, as a product manager, I have to focus more on the problem that exists for the end users. And often I have seen that if I focus on the problem and I apply some techniques to identify that problems, that helps me down the lane. For example, one of the techniques that I often apply is 5W and 1H. That is, what is the problem? What is the solution that it is going to bring? What kind of solution is expected? So there are 5 Ys, 5 Ws and 1 H. This helps me to come up with the right solution for the end customer. Third is that thinking product and not the features. So we have to think on the product as a whole, not as a features. The features, when I say, there may be a list of trending features which are prevalent in the market for similar products. But when I start building a product, it's not that I should try to inculcate all those products in my product. Just because they are the trending features, and I should not think that, yes, this is the features that if my product has, it will just outnumber all the existing products. That is not the correct way. Here again, I will take an example of Ola. You know how Ola had come up, Bhavish Agarwal and one more, Ankit or some person, right? His friend. Bhavish Agarwal was the one who had come up with this concept of Ola, and he was working with any technologies at that time, and he was on a trip from Bandipura to Bangalore or somewhere, right? During the trip, what happened is that person, the cab that he was taking up, the driver stopped and he was asking or demanding some more amount. And Bhavish did not agree on that amount. And then the driver, he left Bhavish there and he went off. So this was the customer pain area which Bhavish identified. The quality of the service or the basically, you can say the driver's diligence, right? That was the problem area. And to solve that, he came up with this Ola concept. And now all of you have witnessed, right? How popular the Ola cabs are. Why? Because of the quality and the kind of concept that it has, that has come up in India. Definitely Uber and everything was there globally, but in India, Ola made a difference. So you have to identify actually the problem area and try to solve that. And we do not have to focus on many problems at one time. Even when Ola came up, that time it was 2010. And during that point of time, even internet network was also very slow. But Bhavish came up with this kind of technology, which was even sustainable for the 2G or 3G also. So we have to take in consideration all these things also, other than the needs. So all in all, I would like to say that secret to building great products is not creating awesome features, but it is to make your users feel awesome. That is how the products should be built upon. And that's my learning so far. Definitely, I have more to learn and more to share. I would like to hear more from each one of you also. And with this, I would like to now end up my speech for today. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Can we have a huge round of applause for our professional speaker, Jolly Sharma? I hope all of you might have taken benefits from this presentation that she shared with us with B90. This is the core of professional speaker, where you will learn from the best in the field. And can we have a huge round of applause once again? Give it to Jolly Sharma. Now moving to the next section, that is prepared speeches section. But before that, all of us need to stop for a minute and write down our feedback, because at the evaluation section, all of us will be required to give our feedback on the professional speech. Timer, please note 1 minute, and just state at the end of it. Thank you very much, Timer Raj Mehta. Now it's time for our prepared speech section. And for the prepared speech, we have a speaker. You have just got introduced at the beginning of the meeting, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta is going to deliver Level 2 Project 1, Understanding Your Leadership Styles from Effective Coaching Path. As you all have received his introduction at the beginning of the meeting, I would just like to state the purpose of the project. The purpose of this assignment is for the member to, one, identify their leadership style or styles and share some aspects of their journey in leadership styles or discuss leadership styles in general. Now, Raj Mehta has recently completed 1 decade in Toastmasters. That is a feat most of us might not complete. This is the consequence of a persistence. He might have played a myriad of roles. He might have been given hundreds of speeches over the years, and he is consistently on the path of learning every day new things. With a huge round of applause, please welcome on the stage Raj Mehta, lead and serve, Raj Mehta.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day, Mukesh Thakur, DTM. Am I visible clearly?
Yes.
Thank you. Every person in this world is sometimes led and sometimes lead. There are situations when we, in order to get to the desired results, may be required to lead a team, and in some other situations, we may be required to be led by someone who might be more competent and more experienced than in a better position to take us to the desired results. In manifestations of my life, that is, as a Toastmaster, as the head of the family, and as the coordinator of an incubator, I have faced such situations of leading and serving. I would say there are as many styles of leadership as the leaders themselves. To name a few, democratic leadership style, pace-setting leadership style, bureaucratic leadership style, innovative leadership style, coaching, authoritative leadership style, and altruistic leadership style. After retrospection with various leadership styles, I feel that I am a leader, or I would say I am a better coach, an authoritative leader, and an affiliative leader. I would like to prove my leadership styles by telling different situations in my life. Today, in fact, yesterday, when I completed a decade in the Toastmaster, I feel proud that I have coached many Toastmasters who have gone in leadership even beyond me. To name a few, Mukesh Thakur, Udyan Shrivastava, Priti Shacharya, Preeti Shroff, Amelia Syed, and Shahid Anwar, Gajendra Khare, Sakshi More, Ganesh Rawat, and many more leaders are there. Why I feel that I have coached them? Because I helped them in taking the challenges when they were not ready for it. I still remember when Mukesh Thakur had joined Toastmaster Club of Dwarka, the way he started and taking interest in the leadership, and then he joined executive committee, and then he became the president of the club. The way he took the Toastmaster Club of Dwarka and made the club uh, fastest president distinguished club at that time. That was really something which we had not achieved till now in the history of the Toastmaster Club of Dwarka. Similarly, Preeti, who had not been a Toastmaster, took the role of the president because I just supported her. And similarly, I asked, or I would say, I inspired Preeti Shacharya to take the role of the area director. Similarly, I helped Shahid Anwar in taking the role of the VP Education because he was not ready for that. The VP Education of the Noida Advanced Toastmaster Club, which was the new club at that time. And yeah, Ganesh Rawat has always been my protege, and he has been, following me like anything. So I think that in the world of Toastmaster, during my last 10 years, I have coached many leaders, and thus I feel that I am a good coach as one of my leadership style. Second leadership style is the authoritative leadership style. I know some of you would say that authoritative leadership style is not good, but at times you have to be a leader of that style. There is a startup company in the incubator of which I am the coordinator. This startup company wanted to hit the market without making the prototype, without doing the test marketing, without doing the trials, and means skipping so many steps. I had to interfere and said, though you cannot do it, you have to go step by step, and for that, you must follow the procedure. And after that, once they were able to send the product for the test marketing and they got the feedback and they reworked on it. Now, recently, they are in talks with a company in Pune, which is going to give them an order of about 4 crores. Similarly, there is a doctor in Delhi who wants to start a hospital in South Africa, and this doctor is also in talks with this startup company. So I think had I not used my authoritative leadership style, they must have hit the market and must have failed. My third leadership style is affiliative leadership style. It means that I take care of the emotions and the opinion of my team members. And this leadership style I always exercise when I am in my family or when I am the head of the family. Whenever we take a decision, be it the small decision, as small as sometimes going out for dinner, or as big as buying a new car, I always take opinion from my daughter, my wife, my son, and after collecting the information and after taking into account all the features or the requirements of our family, we take a decision. And what happens in such type of decision or such type of leadership, we all are at ease, and we know that we would be able to use the thing or the action which we are taking by under the affiliative leadership style. So I feel, or I have experienced, or I have exercised the coach style of leadership, the uh, authoritative style of leadership, and affiliative style of leadership. I do not know whether I would stick to this type of leadership in future as well. But one thing I am sure of, that whenever there will be requirement of changing my leadership style, I will change it, because no person should stick to one particular style of leadership. It is only the situation which demands different type of leadership style. And with this, I would like to conclude my opinion about the leadership style, which I have exercised in my life till now. Thank you very much. Or to the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Can we have a huge round of applause for our prepared speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta? Can we have a huge round of applause once again? The speaker has a dedicated evaluator. I would like you to take 1 minute of silence to note down your feedback so that you can share the feedback offline to the speaker. So timer, please note down the 1 minute of silence and then indicate at the end of the 1 minute. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Now it's time to have some fun. We are 8 members here and we are in the table topics section. So now what happens in this unique table topics section is all of us are table topic master as well as table topics speaker. I will start with giving one topic to one of you and you will speak on that topic, and the last sentence delivered by the speaker will be the topic for the next speaker. And who will be the speaker? That the last speaker will decide. Agreed? Any confusion? All good. So we are 8 members. I hope we have 25 minutes for this section. Currently it is 4:52. So we will end this section at 5:17, right? Am I right in math? Am I right? Can anyone confirm? So 5:17 will end. Who wants to be the first speaker? I have a very good topic. I'll choose Rupinder Singh because I have a very good topic related to him. I think he will do the justice. Rupinder, turn your video on.
I will not be able to keep the video on for long, but go ahead.
Okay, so are you ready for the topic? Otherwise, I will choose.
Go ahead.
Okay, so for you, the topic is all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than others. DTM Rupinder Singh.
In a perfect world, all animals would have been equal, because nature likes a balance. Even though we see the universe as a chaotic, nature likes a balance. To give you an example, a lion will kill one deer and feed on it for the next 13-14 days. The deer, on the other hand, will eat only the amount of grass that it requires. The grass, on the other hand, knows its land, where to grow, where not to grow, and how to defend itself against a deer by various by coordinating with other plants. The presence of other plants makes the grass less tasty. So there is a balance, and once you go through it, if you look at it in its entirety, you will see a balance. But then comes the social animal, the human beings. Technically, we are classified as mammals. In reality, we are actually parasites. I say we are parasites because we feed off our host. Don't believe me? Look at what we've done ever since we've been around. We've moved to a geographical area. We've consumed every natural resource that is out there.
And once we've run out of natural resources, we move to another geographical area. And then we do the same thing as we did to the previous geographical area. It has come to such a point that we have started reclaiming land from the seas. And not only that, we are now looking at colonizing Mars because we have messed up this planet so much. The only difference between humans and the other species is that we were born with an entity called greed. And that is what made us unequal to others. So tomorrow, when your children ask you that why is this planet in a messed up situation, the answer is that we were different from animals. We were greedy. And that is my topic for my next speaker. I choose one of our newest incoming members, Toastmaster Seema.
Thank you so much for this topic. Could you please repeat the title once again?
We are greedy.
All right, thank you so much. Someone has stated that greed is not at all a good thing. However, human beings, they don't rely on anything else. We all have seen the utmost, and the sophisticated creation of this universe is called mankind. And when it comes to greed, well, they are nowhere else. They are on this beautiful planet. And as stated by one of the prominent speakers, that yes, we have left nothing unturned. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, from tin to plane, we have reached to Mars. We have eaten all the animals. We are leaving no stone unturned, as I stated before. But down the line, we are not taking the onus that we are the only one who are responsible for everything. This planet does not only belong to human beings, it does belong to each and every creature of this beautiful universe. See the universe, see the nature, it all the time keeps on giving. But are we giving? No, we all are the takers. As a result, we are frustrated, full of anxiety, full of despondency, uttering and struggling and having a lot of dilemmas. What to do, what not to do, how to move. I'm doing this, not getting what. Then down the line, what is taking us there? That's our greediness. It can be related to promotion. It can be related to reaching at the pinnacle of glory. It can be related to going anywhere. Sky has the limit. Who has decided that? Human beings. So yes, down the line, I would say to all of us, nothing is wrong to be greedy. On the contrary, we all have to have a discipline for everything because desires are unlimited, but we have to curb on something which is called humanity. Humanity saws the chart, be it professional or personal. Be greedy, but draw a line of demarcation. So I would say never be greedy, always believe in giving. So this is going to be the topic for the next speaker. Never be greedy, always be in the position of giving. And I'm going to give you this topic to none other than Sandeep Kumar. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Seema. We have grown since our childhood. And one thing we unfortunately taught by our parents or relatives is think of yourself first. So this makes us more greedy rather than thinking of giving something to anyone. The thing which taught us about giving is our grandparents. And yes, those who spent their childhood with the grandparents, I think they know the value of giving. And what is harm if you are earning well and the other person is earning well? Don't you find it's good? If someone is more capable and more motivation, more have a sophisticated background, what is harm in that? Can't you achieve it? If you are capable to achieve something, if you are capable to draw extraordinary things, then I don't think so you feel like a greedy person. You always think like giving, because you have that capability. If you believe that you can do the things, you can make the transformation from greedy to giving. And it all things about things in here. So your mindset decides which character you want to play in your life. So it is better to know what is the purpose and meaning of your life. With that thought, we would like to carry forward title Leading with a Purposeful Life. Leading with a Purposeful Life. I would like to give this topic to Unique Katnoria.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. Well, leading a purposeful life. I think for that you need to know what the purpose is. So, long story short, I would not like to elongate it. I believe that purpose is not something that we are born with, but what we define for ourselves. And every situation has a purpose in it. Even if you are suffering or there is a distasteful task you have to do, the inherent, there hidden lies a purpose why you are doing it. So the purpose basically is to find the purpose in the purposeless, which is our life actually. So inherently there is no meaning. So the purpose is to find the purpose in this whole purposeless act that we are all involved in. So yes, the beauty of purpose is that you can define it for yourself. But then again, the question comes: why are most of us feel purposeless? That's where the thing of approval comes. We all seek approval from the society or someone in authority figure, that is our purpose good enough? Is the purpose that I'm defining for myself, is that a worthy purpose? And that is the way we kill the spontaneous and the natural side of ours by seeking approval from other. That is my purpose worthy of being pursued? So first of all, you know your purpose. Almost all of us know our purpose, but what we are looking is for approval from others, that is my purpose good enough? And second is sometimes the courage. If you decide that my purpose is what I decide, then courage most probably follows that act. But in general, it's always a good thing to see that whatever I'm doing or thinking of doing, would it like really matter somewhere down the line, even if I falter? So that's always a good indication of how to act based on your beliefs and your purpose. If it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, and it also makes you wiser. So that's actually my next topic. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger and even wiser. And I don't know who all are left. So if who are left, please raise your hand. I will assign to one of them. I would like to hand it over to Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger and wiser.
I just said I am also left with others.
Okay. Okay, so is anybody left? I would like to.
Ravi, I, Jolly, Anisha, and Raj are left.
Okay, I'll give it to you then.
Okay, so the topic is what doesn't kill you make you wiser
Stronger.
and wiser and
Stronger.
stronger. Thank you very much. I remember the day when I was at the verge of dying, when I was at the bottom of the Ganges. I was doing the river rafting, and everything just went what we did not plan. The life does not come with instructions, and whatever you keep doing, you don't know how this thing will taking you in the life. And just like the Bilbo Baggins in the Lord of the Rings says, you won't know how is your destiny going to be unless you keep your feet onto the road. Hence, I believe that there is no calculated risk in this life. You might be taking your steps with some permutations and combinations in your mind, and still the destiny or the God or the universe has something other in your bag, and things that you have imagined or visualized might just be happening in the reverse way that you have been imagining. Hence, I was planning for this trip, I was planning for 1 day escape from a normal life at our office. And what happened the next was we were at the river Ganges at the Rishikesh. Everything was going smoothly until we reached the third rapids of the entire trip, which is called the roller coaster rapid, where everything was just shaking. Our raft flew in the air, gravity worked, and we all did not come down at the same places from where we started. All of 8 of our rapid craft members were at different places. I found the raft on me and I was under the water. And after a few minutes, I found myself at the bottom of the water. I was having a life jacket that put me come on the surfing area, and still the force of the water was so much heavy that it would put me down. I was just blowing with the water. My head was getting hit by the rocks because I was wearing helmet. I did not die. Still, I think I would have died. I thought that this is my last day on this entire planet, and I had done the rituals that I could understand that at the end of the life I should remember. I am giving this speech today. That means I did not die on that day. But still, that incident made me wiser and stronger, and now I have a different perspective for everything. So my next topic is have a different perspective for everything, and I would like to give it to Anisha Gupta.
Anisha, what makes you think so? Hey, Anisha, you must be having a very different perspective on this one. Why don't you tell us? Anisha, you always tell us that you're a democratic leader. You always ask people so many questions. You must be having so many thoughts around it. That's what I usually hear from people. Whenever they need an opinion, whenever they need a listening ear, or someone they need to have a different perspective on things. People come to me and tell me, hey, Anisha, that you have different perspective on things. But why do I have such different perspective is what a question I ask to myself. A conversation that I have with my significant other. My significant other, my Anisha Gupta. It's the conversation we are having day in, day out, that we have in all ourselves. And they both are talking and constantly arguing in myself. A lot of other things have helped me build different perspectives. Reading, talking to people, not limiting my social circle to my domain. Well, when I was working as an IT expert in an IT fintech company, I used to talk about, let's say, arts to people. I used to talk about, hey, what do you think of the society? What do you think of non-profit, social sector, or education? When I am in the social development sector now, I ask people, what do you think of technology? What do you think of building products? When I'm around people who are doing yoga or arts or flow movement, I ask them, what do they think of science? When I'm at Toastmasters, I ask them, what do they think of traveling? I just gather voices. And those voices helped me bring out more voices and share them with people. That's why I believe that building different perspectives is so important. And that can be done only by great listening. On that note, I want to hand over this next topic to the next table topic speaker. I believe Jolly Sharma hasn't spoken so far on the table topics. Jolly, are you ready?
Yeah, Anisha.
So the next topic for you is listening is important. Yeah. Listening is important, Jolly Sharma.
Listening is important. It is said that we have one mouth and 2 ears. So there is a logic behind that. We need to talk once, but listen twice. Means our listening skills should be more effective if we want to become a great communicator. This is something that I realized when I landed in Toastmasters. And I have come to know of this example. And then I realized why nature also has blessed us human beings with 2 ears and 1 mouth. Gradually, I explored that I am a poor listener. Though I keep quiet, but still I do not listen much. What was the problem with me? The problem was I had my own perceptions. Whenever someone is talking, my mind is busy like a bumblebee, making thoughts, weaving some thoughts around the topic or something else, or around some other topic. Now to silence this bumblebee, what are the techniques that I choose? I wanted to be as present as possible. But my dear friends, even that did not help. Slowly, my husband, he helped me in understanding what is that effective technique that I can try. He said, try meditation, dear. And I started doing that. I gradually realized that now I have started being more attentive. And that helped me also to grow as an individual. I was more open now to people's perceptions. As Anisha shared, the perspectives are important. That not only helps you as an individual, but also to make the world around you a better place. Because you hear so many thoughts, so many opinions, and then when you share it, you not only grow yourself, but you also help the surroundings grow in a better way. So all in all, listening is very important. And I have realized that I'm yet to improve on that and become the best version of myself. I'm on the journey and I'll share more on that. Over to you. I think the next speaker is Raj. So your topic, Raj, is that I am on a journey on becoming the best version of myself.
Not only me, but everyone is on a journey for becoming a better version of ourselves. When we take birth, we do not know anything. We do not know how to crawl. We do not know how to speak. We do not even sometimes do not know how to laugh. Because when we take birth or we come on this earth, we cry. All other things are learned once we are in this earthly world. So every time, whatever we are doing something, we are doing it for the better version of ourselves. Once we start walking, once we start speaking, then we think of getting education. Once education is done, then we start thinking of taking some technical knowledge so that we can survive in this competitive world. Everyone is working on the betterment of oneself. Then how could I remain behind it? Yes, I have also come through various phases in my life when I could say that, yes, I am better version from my yesteryears. I didn't have the courage to speak in front of audience, but today, after having a decade of Toastmasters experience, I can say that I can face any kind of audience, howsoever tough or difficult it may be. Similarly, I was not able to do MBA, and after getting courage from others, I entered into MBA and completed it. Even though I do not have any financial background, but I took the financial management as my thesis and completed my MBA with 72% marks. So everyone is working on the better version of oneself as though, and so am I. Thank you very much. And the topic for the next speaker is, and so am I. And who can
I think next speaker is not there.
Mr. Toastmaster, sorry, table topic master.
And so am I. So I would take it from here because I think we have 3 minutes, 2 minutes left now. So am I. What we are doing in this planet Earth, or how we have taken birth. Am I the decision maker in the taking birth in this place? Am I have I come on this earth with some purpose? So have I come on this earth with some project? I do not know anything. I do not have any control why we are here, what we are doing in this earth, where we have to reach. What we all know that after taking birth, I was surrounded by people, and there were people who kept teaching us something, and they kept expecting something from us, and we kept kept ourselves put in this entire quest, and we are expected to spend our 25 years in getting how we are going to lead our lives. Then after 25 years, we put 25 to 35 years in leading those lives, how to earn for living, and after that we just keep cherishing what we have done. And in all of this, we have forgotten why we are living, what we are doing on this earth. Is just living the purpose? Is just earning money for living is the purpose of living this life? Because we never learned of living. Everything that we are doing is just oriented to one particular direction, and that is how to make your life better. But we never enjoyed our life. Never did something that was truly ourselves. Whatever I wanted to do, I never came to know. All I could do was just getting the approval, as unique Katnoria said. We were just getting the approval from the society. Are we equal or are we different? I believe each one of us are equal human beings, like every other creature. And just like the author of the book Animal Farm said, when he was trying to demonstrate the human tendency in the form of animals in his book Animal Farm, that all animals are equal, but some animals are more equal than the other animals. When we are leading our life, we must keep thinking what we are doing and how we should lead our life. Thank you very much. So I guess that's the close of the loop, and I hope all of you enjoyed. Can we have a huge round of applause for all of you? All of you did a wonderful job in the entire table topic section. And that's the great end of this section. So now we are moving to the evaluation segment, and for this I'm going to invite the moderator of the evaluation section, which will be the general evaluator Anisha Gupta. Anisha is known for being the quiet one, yet inquisitive inquisitive with a lot of questions. Others better brace themselves. She has moved from developing tech products to developing human capital. Currently, she is working with the NGO Barefoot College International as a trainer, empowering rural educators. She has rejoined the Toastmasters community after her CCALB experience and aspire to become a strong storyteller and community enabler. You can find her practicing stillness of mind, movement of body, oneness with the nature, or just hopping around looking for food. If not busy, lucid dreaming in her sleep. Ask her about living in rural spaces after moving around 6 cities. With a huge round of applause, please welcome on the virtual stage General Evaluator Anisha Gupta.
Thank you. Our meeting host of the evening, of the day, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur. Closing the loop is a thought that we are taking forward. Our table topic section started off on the point and came back full circle on the same point. Well, at Toastmasters, nothing closes without a well-deserved evaluation, comprehensive evaluation. And that's what the general evaluation section is all about. Here at professional speakers, we treat the evaluation section and take with more sanctity and take it just a notch higher. While everyone's voice is important, we respect that. And we do that with the idea of roundtable evaluations. Today, we had one professional speech and one prepared speech and the table topic relay marathon. For the roundtable evaluations, for the professional speech, we'll be doing a roundtable evaluation. While for the prepared speech, the prepared speaker requested for a dedicated evaluator. So a dedicated evaluator will be delivering a evaluation for 2 to 3 minutes. I will then be presenting the report on the table topic, on how the table topic section was, and then the supplementary evaluators would give their individual reports. So let's start off the very hard and very important section of the Toastmasters meeting, the evaluation section. With that, I would like to call upon the professional speaker of the day, Toastmaster Jolly Sharma, to take evaluation one point of commendation and 1 point of recommendation from most of the people as much as possible in under 5 minutes. Please share. Toastmaster Jolly Sharma, the stage is yours. Yes, you're audible, but now you're on mute. It looks like there's some technical network break at Jolly's end. Toastmaster Jolly, let me know if you can hear us.
Jolly, you are on mute.
On that note, we would first, okay, since our dedicated evaluator is also Toastmaster Jolly Sharma, we would wait for her.
Anisha, I would suggest that since the meeting is recorded, you can start taking feedback.
Hello.
Sure. Toastmaster Jolly, are you there?
Yeah, I am having a bad network. Sorry, apologies for getting dropped off. So
what we can do
let me start with my evaluation, right?
Right. What we can
do
is
may I request DTM Rupinder to share the evaluation for my speech?
Sure. So one thing that I liked about your presentation was the minimalist design. There was minimum text, but the rest of the slides are giving a lot of information. My recommendation is also along the same lines. For a very long time, either it was a glitch at my end, or I don't know if everybody else saw it. You were stuck at one slide for almost like 5 to 7 minutes. And then I saw the other slide coming. So just be careful of that.
Okay, we can move on to the next speaker. Anyone can share their evaluation. I would request distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur to share his evaluation for Jolly.
Thank you, Anisha. One of the recommendations is already covered. I liked the theme and the core of the product design. It is required to be presented. We all need such presentation. Professionals from their field, their expertise. So I really like the idea of presenting the product development. My only recommendation, the other recommendation is that when you are interacting with non-technical persons, it is good to use some story and keep something so that you can hook the audience and relate it to what you are going to say. Might be just using simple words, some cliches, some relative examples that would help us to understand what you are saying more. So,
thank you, Mukesh. Toastmaster Seema would request you to share your evaluation for Jolly.
Yes, sure. Thank you so much. Well, I really like the content. It was all very comprehensive. At the same time, you followed proper structure, opening, boarding, and then However, when coming on to certain areas, I really feel if you work on, it will definitely enhance your speaking skills. And at the same time, audience will be hooked on. Number one is I found that your voice was quite flat. It was going flat. So if you use voice modulation, it will help you out a lot. Secondly, some of the pronunciation errors occurred while speaking. So I would say if you go for, say, Cambridge and all, these are good tools to help one's, own pronunciation. Last but not the least, you talked about 5W and 1H. If you could have thrown, a little light on that, then I would have got to know what was it all about. All in all, I feel that if you work on these small nitty and gritties, it will definitely soar the chart and add new wings to you. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. Toastmaster Unique, were you present at the professional speech section? And would you like to share?
No, I was not present.
That's okay. Thank you. Toastmaster Sandeep, would you like to share your evaluation?
Yeah, sure. Apart from the recommendations and commendations provided by the evaluators, I would like to highlight on the commendation part that I really like the examples quoted in very brief. And the recommendation is, though it was quoted on the Ola part, I don't think so it is actually required as topic is concerned, because it is more rather than the opportunity gap where the owner was fine. It was the presentation was about the building products. So it would be rather to stick on the one example and just brief based on the statistics and the user experiences. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. Since it's only yellow cards for now. Okay, distinguished Toastmaster Raj, evaluation from you.
I think most of my commendations and recommendations have been covered.
Great. I will give in my points and then we can move ahead in the section. Yes, most of my recommendations and commendations are also covered. I like the fact that Jolly shared her own personal story of how building product is done. Recommendations around one slide being stuck for 5 minutes is not very visually appealing, because what we can see on the screen is one large presentation deck and a very small speaker who is speaking for 5 to 7 minutes. Toastmaster Jolly, what I would recommend that you also do an audio and video check before you present in 18-minute long keynote. Often it is, I can see that there is a blue light reflecting on your speech, which may not look so professional on long speeches. So you can do that as well. But overall, congratulations on your professional speech. Moving ahead, for our prepared speaker, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, who delivered his speech on understanding leadership style, we have Toastmaster Jolly Sharma, who is going to present speech evaluation, the evaluation of his speech. Toastmaster Jolly, let's do an audio check with you.
Yeah, I just logged in with my mobile. I hope I am audible and
very clearly. Very clearly. If
Yeah,
in case
that's
there is
clear,
a
right?
language problem, you can switch off your video, but we can hear you very clearly. So you can go ahead with your speech evaluation.
Lead and serve. What an important and very fascinating topic for me. Leading and serving both goes hand in hand. And Raj's leadership style that he shared has witnessed the same story. He started with a very interesting note that every person is sometimes led by someone, or he might have to lead sometimes. I think that is the case with everyone. So he connected with the audience spot there. Then he also shared on the different leadership styles. What are the different leadership styles present in this world? Democratic, innovative, authoritative, and so on. And then he jumped to his own story to share his leadership styles. And that he explained it very well. He made the connection right with his real life examples. How the first leadership style that he has shared was coaching. The second was authoritative, and third is affiliative. For each of these, he went on with the anecdotes or the examples relating to that. I think overall that was a very good way of organizing the entire content, the speech, and delivering it. Though the conclusion was a bit abrupt, other than that, I think everything went very well. So I have few recommendations over here. As I said, the first is the conclusion. I found it a very short. He could have improved or maybe summed up all his leadership experiences also. That would have made the conclusion more interesting. Second is that he could have enhanced the personal anecdotes for each of these leadership styles. For example, for the second leadership style, I think so, he was talking about DTM Mukesh example, how he has posed DTM Mukesh and how DTM Mukesh had made the difference after following his leadership qualities. That was very interesting for the people to relate out. So these kind of anecdotes wherein the speaker is able to cite his own personal stories or the way he has made difference, that makes the audience more interested and engaging towards the speaker. So even for the authoritative or the affiliative, though he said that he takes care of emotions, but he could have taken one anecdote wherein probably he is going out for this lunch or dinner or he deciding on and what actually happened, what were his family responses, family members. So that could have made a difference. So these were the only two things. And the third thing, very important, that I feel today DTM Raj could have improved on is the voice modulation. Usually he does it in his speeches. Today I found it a bit kind of monologue at times. So probably DTM Raj, if you would incorporate this voice modulation also, this will further take your speeches to the next level. Overall, it was a very nice and very good speech with a lot of insights on how you had related and you have explored the various leadership styles within you. So congratulations and keep moving. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Let's have a round of applause for that speech evaluation. Thank you, Toastmaster Jolly. As we say, we don't stop, we never look back. So we move ahead with the next segment, the table topics that we have. And we had a relay of table topics. Yes, I'm sure no one in the room felt nervous, felt those jittery feeling that usually table topics are associated with. Because this was not just impromptu speaking, but impromptu speaking with the snap of a finger. And the best part is that the topics kept on flowing and kept on like a staggered staircase or a river flowing very smoothly. That's the best part I felt about the table topics today. For individual evaluations, hence I am going to give 1 point of commendation and recommendation. We started with distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh is an advanced and expert speaker. We know that because he is able to fit a lot of content and stories into 2 minutes. He spoke about mammals, then social animals and parasites, and then how social animals, which are humans, are covering up and going beyond their equity. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, I would have loved it if you could just reduce the content and make it bring out more the point of equalness more in your structure, in the flow of your ideas. Other than that, I love the ideas that were flowing from your speech. And from that point of equity and animals, we moved ahead to the point of humans being greedy. And Toastmaster Seema brought out those points impeccably with all the content that are buzzing in our head. She told us how we are takers. She gave the opinion, her own personal opinion of being greedy but being mindful. And on that, she also closed with how greedy is not so helpful. Toastmaster Seema, I would like it better if you take short pauses in between your content, because you have beautiful, vivid content and ideas to share. Take some pause, and that would help maybe in your voice expression. And for us as listeners to reflect on the ideas that you're sharing, because you are an impeccable speaker, but not every listener is impeccable as a good speaker you are. With that, we moved on to never being greedy, but being in the position of giving. And who can be in a better position of giving and doing so much as our Toastmaster Sandeep, who always plays so many roles and so puts on so many hats. Toastmaster Sandeep shared about the value of giving, about the mindset which decides the character we play in. And I really liked Sandeep, how you played with the plot. That's what improvisation is. When you play with the plot, you just take it from here and you take it everywhere, but still come back to the point. So I think when you start talking about the character and the idea of giving coming from parents, I think that was a very good play of plot. I like that you brought in the voice expression as well, which I usually don't see in your prepared speeches, but I think you're becoming a master of storytelling through your impromptu speaking. I don't have any recommendations for you. Sandeep took us forward into the life with leading with purposeful life. And our fourth speaker was, I think, Unique Katnoria. Yeah. So he spoke about purposeness and purposefulness. Unique, you have very strong content. You have so many ideas to share. Recommendation for you would be to work on your facial expressions, to take a pause again and think and let the listeners reflect on them. That would inherently improve your facial expressions and your voice expressions, because I thought that there's some kind of nervousness coming and showing on your face while your content is absolutely great. So that's a recommendation for you. We move on to the fifth speaker, which is Toastmaster, Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh is the best storyteller I have come across. You know that because if you give him one word, he can wind a story around it. And these were definitely 6 or 7 words. He started with his story immediately. And I think Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh can deliver a story lesson 101 through his skills. No recommendation for you. Sixth speaker was me on the topic of having different perspectives. I don't have any recommendations on commendations for myself. If you have any, please share it with me. Our seventh speaker was Toastmaster Jolly. Listening is important. Toastmaster Jolly, you were very calm. Like you are becoming a master at impromptu speaking with your voice expression, those buzzing of bumblebee, that noise that really took me aback. And you also had like buzzing of bumblebees, like playing of words and giving vivid expression and alliteration. So great work on that. You were very reflective in your content. It was very personal story, no general notes or thoughts. So it really touched me and I could connect. Our eighth speaker was, our eighth speaker was Toastmaster Raj Mehta. I am on a journey to become a better version of myself. And you know, it's a expert speaker when he starts on this very first immediate instance, very first second, because he says that it's not just him, but everyone is on the same journey. And that's what a true leader is. Toastmaster Raj, I wished you could have spoken more on your table topic before handing it over, and control your nervousness also, and be more show more eye contact to the audience. Our last speaker was Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh again, and so am I. I wasn't expecting a 9th table topic, but great, because because we could cover it in time, and I can see the red flag being up for so long. Distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh, one recommendation for you is you were repeating your phrases wherever there was a mistake, like we have not forgotten, we have forgotten. Maybe you can practice taking more pauses so that maybe you try adding a not later on, or just giving a spin to that phrase rather than correcting yourself. So slowing down maybe can help you. And you close with an animal farms closing. We had a great table topic section. If it were an actual relay race, I think we would have won because we were ahead of time by 2 minutes and we could have one more participant. Now I will close this general table topic evaluation and move on to the supplementary evaluators. Thank you, Toastmaster Raj, for that red card. On our supplementary evaluators, which have been doing their job all through the meeting, we will first try to bring upon to the virtual stage Toastmaster Sandeep Kumar, who's going to present his Grammarian's report.
Madam General Evaluator, could you please confirm my screen visible?
Your screen is visible and you're audible clearly.
Okay. Hello once again. We had a great day today. I would like to highlight the creative usage of words first. Intuitive, profound, manifestation, retrospection, inherently fascinating, jittery, impeccably, and vivid. Now there are some creative sentences as well, which I really like. Active on your toes, find purpose in purposeless, weaving thoughts. Now there are some incorrect or improved usage, or maybe it could be better on the articulation part. Like first is it was a great month last month, so month was one avoided. It was a great last month. Second is one of the speakers said why there are so much craze. So it would be better why there is so much craze. Third is what happens in 90s. So the speaker was talking about past, so what happened in 90s. Next was, and then second thing is, so the sentence was in continuation, so the better would be the second thing is. Someone said, I want to prove my leadership style. So another way to make it more effective, I would like to share my leadership traits. That could be the more effective. There are a couple of mispronunciation error today. Someone said carefully, it is carefully. Someone said immediately, it is immediately. That is from my side. The word of the day used twice by Mukesh Thakur. That is from my side. Over to General Evaluator.
Thank you for that very thoughtful report, Toastmaster Sandeep, coming from the Grammarian's desk and under time. Thank you. Now we move ahead to the Accounters report from Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, who is going to tell us how to improve our speech by lessening the impediments.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes, Distinguished
Okay.
Toastmaster.
So the accounter was not kept very busy today, and we had actually fewer hours than we had the other transgressions. I'll just give you my report in brief. Mukesh Thakur, you had 3 hours, but they came in your table topics. When you were playing the Toastmaster of the meeting, you did not have any hours at all. One thing that I have noticed, Mukesh, is that when you say words, you have this habit of saying after that word. For example, it's very faint, but when you say this, you follow it up with so it's kind of noticeable, but I think you're trying to ensure that you do not utter a filler word. So I did not mark that down as an Jolly, you had 5 repetitions. Raj Mehta, you had 4 hours and 2 repetitions in your speech and 3 repetitions in your table topic. Unique 4 hours, but those were in the beginning of your speech, which indicated a sense of nervousness. You became more confident. You did have 2 repetitions. And Anisha, you had 2 hours and 1 repetition. I did not count my own hours and And as for the rest, for now, just assume that you did not have any ahs or ums or any filler words.
Thank you for encouraging us to reduce our speech impediments and make our speech stronger. And when we talk about strength, we also talk about strength on the term of time. And that's where a timer's report would come in from distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta. Distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta, can we do an audio check?
First. Are you able to see my screen?
It's loading and now I can see it.
So I see that most of the things were done within the time allotted. I found that in the first section, the total time taken was 11 minutes and 49 seconds. I did not note the segment, the activity-wise time, but I noted the time taken by the busy section and also, so this is how I could make 11 minutes and 49 seconds. There may be some mistake in this particular timing of first section. Regarding the second one, so we see that in most of these are in time, but when team mode is introducing the team, he took 3 minutes and 36 seconds. Time allotted was 3 minutes, but he saved time when introducing the structure of the meeting. Time allotted was 2 minutes, but he took only 54 seconds. Again, while introducing the role players, time allotted was 2 minutes. He took only 1 minute and 5 seconds. And while introducing the grammarian, time allotted was 1 minute, and he took 1 minute and 1 second. That is sometimes doable. And when the Toastmaster of the day elaborated on the theme, time allotted was 2 minutes, and she took only 40 seconds. Now, coming on to the Toastmaster invites professional speaker, 1 minute was allotted, and time taken was 1 minute and 30 seconds. The professional speech time allotted was 18 minutes, and the time taken was 16 minutes and 43 seconds. And silence was done in time. And the Toastmaster of the day introduces the table topic master. Time allotted was 1 minute, but time taken was 1 minute and 24 seconds. So these timings are available, and you can see, I think I may not be repeating it again. Giving the time of the table topic speeches, Rupinder took 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Seema took 2 minutes and 14 seconds. Sandeep took 1 minute and 57 seconds. Unique took 2 minutes and 08 seconds, and Mukesh took 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Anisha took 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 8 seconds. Jolie, I could not note. Raj, I could not note my timing, and Mukesh for the second time took 2 minutes and 42 seconds. And this is all from my side. Thank you very much. I think, yeah, these are the remaining timings. You may kindly note it. Thank you.
And that's what I call a very comprehensive report. Let's have a round of applause for all the supplementary evaluators, our grammarian, our counter, and our timer for the day. You have done your job well, because without you, we are not getting the right feedback, which is what Toastmasters is for. I will now present a general evaluator's report on the overall running of the meeting and individual role players which have not been covered so far. Let's go in a chronological order, since we are already on a theme of races and relays and Olympics and whatnot. So we started the meeting on time. That's a professional speakers as by heart rule, and we don't want to skip on that. We ensure that we do things on time and we finish up things on time as well, which will be my motive, my target for the day. We start with silent rounds, opening the meeting and welcoming the guest, and the presiding officer, who is also playing multiple roles, did his job well. When we come down to the business segment, which is a USP at professional speakers, as I wish the guest would have come earlier and could have experienced that USP. Some feedback on the business segment, since we have been doing it for so long, I would say I really like the fact that the slides for the absentees was hidden, so there was no breaking of the flow. The fact that the presiding officer introduced the business segment, since it's unique to professional speakers, the guests and other members are keen to know what actually it is about and how did it come into place. I like the fact that members share their progress and not just what their goal is, maybe the progress which was done so far, or what is going to be their next step in the short-term goal. Few recommendations in the business segment would be to just try to have that presentation ready to be launched so that there's no delay in launching that. And it's a must that all members should keep their video on during the time that the business segment is being presented, which happened for most of the speakers. Toastmaster of the day, our distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur, is a distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh Thakur and a great speaker because he plays on his strengths. And his strength is, as I said earlier, storytelling, but also weaving different parts of things into one. The way he had planned for weaving the professional speech into the theme made the meeting so seamless without any glitches. And he also even mentioned that he is not the expert on building products because there are more people who are going to talk about building products as a professional speaker. I really like this fact. It sets the expectation for the meeting in well for any Toastmaster or non-Toastmaster in the house. He introduced the speakers as very properly. I like the fact that Mukesh Thakur, when introducing the first speaker, the first prepared speaker, Raj Mehta, did not repeat the introduction because it's flowing from in the same meeting, but instead gave the specific purpose of his speech. This is very helpful because at our club, we believe in feedback coming from everyone. And unless people know what's the purpose of the speech, they won't be able to provide the right feedback on what the speaker is looking out for. I would really like it for setting the right expectation, Toastmaster Mukesh, that you also announce when audience has to really note down the feedback and share it ahead in the meeting, and when they can note it down but share it offline in the different cases of roundtable evaluation and dedicated evaluation. Our professional speaker Jolly, he delivered a really bright and important speech, and that has already been covered with through the speech evaluation given for her. Table topic, there was no table topic master, but Toastmaster Mukesh did a fabulous job of introducing the table topic segment, mentioning the guidelines, mentioning the time, the total time that we have, so that all the speakers know what's the target, and even asked for any clarifications needed since it's a different format. And I really like that he introduced it with the line that all of us are table topic masters and all of us are speakers. So, distinguished Toastmaster Mukesh, a recommendation for just your speech delivery and not role is that if you emphasize on such like fancy lines, all of us are masters and all of us are speakers, with your voice, it will take your strength of storytelling just notch higher, even in normal role play. So that's an opportunity for you to improve. Coming down to supplementary evaluators, our timer has been doing their job right from the first moment. And I have a recommendation for you for the timer is that when they were using the timing cards, which are of slightly different color, it is good to announce that. Like the green card was slightly bluish in color. So it's great that we are improvising using the resources that we have, but it might be confusing for the audience. So if you can announce it through the Tmod or on the chat box that blue represents green, and then it would be great. Also,
it's just on the side of the decorum of the meeting. It would be great if we have an active tech master who's not just spotlighting the speaker, but also the timer for the day. Because whenever we present our screen and someone is sharing their screen, they might not be able to see the time. And so that's really important. Spotlighting is not important, but we can figure out whether we need it or not. The grammarian for the day had a very critical report, very short, very to the point, and I really like that the recommendations, that the observations were really nice. As grammarian said, Toastmaster Sandeep, you mentioned about pronunciation of immediately. I think this you should also mention why you're recommending this. When it comes to pronunciations, these vary a lot, just like accents. If you have a verifiable resource on why this pronunciation is better than the other pronunciation, it would be great for the listeners to absorb that. So if why immediately and not immediately, or vice versa, it would be great to know. But your report was really short, and that's the beauty of it. The R counter for the day also provided a short report, but with specifics. Distinguished Toastmaster Rupinder Singh, you mentioned that Jolly, you had 5 repetitions. I would like to know, and maybe the speaker would like to know, what are those repetitions and are they good or are they not good? That would just take the report, make the report better. Overall, for supplementary evaluations, I would say we still have the 3 minutes for each speaker, for each supplementary evaluator. Let's make that count. While the reports are short, which is great, right? But let's have at least speak till the yellow point. The timer also mentioned that time allotted was X, but used was Y for almost all row items. I would suggest the timer that they mention the specifics, just the highlights, what you think was good or what you think can be improved. So that was overall report. I think I'm not missing anyone. And on the terms of decorum, it was great that we had video cameras on, and that is what a Toastmaster of the day also suggested, that we should have our full videos on throughout the meeting. So that is really lively and brings in liveliness into the meeting. The relay table topics segment was absolutely fun. It's an experiment that professional speakers are doing, and we would like to know from the guest on how they're feeling about it. On that note, I pass on the stage to our presiding officer and close the general evaluation for speech for meeting number 155. So, distinguished Toastmaster Raj Mehta.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Toastmaster Anisha Gupta, your timing was 8 minutes and 13 seconds. Then the time allotted was 7 minutes. With this, I conclude my role as the timer. How was the meeting? Thumbs up. One more thumbs up.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Great meeting.
Now let's ask from the guest. Unique, how did you like the meeting?
Yeah, I as always enjoyed the meeting, and the table topic section was very interesting, as was the general evaluation. Actually, I don't know if anybody has told you, but Anisha, you have your personality suits to the GE role. You have that personality of a strict teacher. So maybe that's why I was nervous also. But yeah, you did your job very well. I think very constructive feedback, and same goes for team mode also. And yeah, supplementary role pair grammarian. I really like the grammarian report as well. And great to hear you guys. It was indeed a professional meeting. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you, Unique. Where do you think we can improve?
Yeah, I think I don't know what these months. It is something with this month or something. Every club is having a bit shortage in members joining the meeting. We are also facing the same problem. So I guess we have that common problem. Maybe if more members can get involved, the meeting would be like up a level.
Thank you. May I request feedback from Toastmaster Seema, soon to be member of our club.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. Well, I found meeting was quite good, and I need more energy because past experiences I had here were quite energetic and quite, vivacious. I want that back, and I just want to enjoy with all of you with the fun of learning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster Seema. Now from the members, where do you think we can improve?
Energy.
Energy, yes. Okay. With this, we conclude our meeting number 155th. We shall continue with the executive committee meeting, and hence I would request guests to keep coming in our next meeting, and for the time being, please let us do the business.
Okay, thank you guys. Bye.
Thank you. See you again.
Thank you, Seema. Thank you, Unique.
Thank you.
Rasa, please stop recording.
Yeah.
You can stop the record.